It has been a long day, and I am choosing to podcast. Let's see how this goes. You get $2,000, you get $2,000, you get $2,000, and some guy dressed as a Viking got to traipse about the U.S. Capitol with his shirt off. 2021 is already hilarious. We're not going to talk too much politics, but we are going to flick each other right in the testes, because it is a new year, and it's a new episode of the Savage Sacktap, and it starts right now.
You're listening to the Savage Sacktap. It's not a podcast, it's not a half-cast, it's just a quick shot to the balls to help you finish off the week. We're cutting through the bullshit, filling your Friday with rage-fueled logic, and cracking a few jokes along the way. So grab a bag of frozen peas. There's a Savage Sacktap coming your way.
Smooth, lascivious, salacious, outrageous.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for checking out my podcast. No, I'm just funning with you. On the show that I'm already fucking choking on cock today. Jesus. On the show that I work for, we were making fun of YouTubers and influencers who talk like douches in their content. And that's how those douches always usually begin their videos. Like, hey, what's up, guys? But for reals now, Guten Tag, boys and girls. Welcome to the Savage Sacktap. I am Mike Montone, and speaking of the show that I work for, I see some of the Jim and Sam crowd have been tuning into the Sacktap. You guys have been reaching out with DMs and tweets and etc. So thank you guys for checking this show out. I started this show like fucking, I don't even know what year it was. Maybe like 2013, 14 or so. I started doing this stuff on Facebook, and I had like a $12 USB mic, and I was just doing it to blow off steam because I hated my fucking job, and I was bored, and I would hear these news stories, and I would get so annoyed at the fucking idiots in them and the way we covered them that I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do this on my own. So I did that, and I would just be in my bedroom fucking around, having fun. And so to have used the show and the content that I've made on here to get a job with my favorite radio show, and to now have fans of that show listening to this podcast as well is pretty surreal and pretty cool. I'll be totally honest, and we'll talk more about this later in this episode. I never really felt like I fit in working in the news industry, and I was around it from like a child growing up, and as an intern in college before I worked in news like as a grown-up, and I was just never fucking comfortable doing that shit. So it has been fantastic becoming part of the Jim and Sam world and everything else that offshoots from it. You know, the old O&A people, the Compound Media fans and stuff. You interact with them all on social media, and everybody's hilarious, and everyone's making fun of everything, and it fucking rules. I think it's one of the few jobs in the world where consumers of your product will Photoshop you into a cum-drenched picture with your boss and coworkers, and that's just a normal part of the day at the office. So I thoroughly appreciate that. I love it. There's not enough cum-drenching in the news industry, and usually when there is, someone gets charged with sexual misconduct and loses their job, and Sumner Redstone, and awful stuff. But with all that preamble out of the way, let us allow the actual ramblings to begin here. I'm hoping you guys all had as good of a holiday season as I did. We did our Christmas episode the Saturday before Christmas, and usually my brother and sister join me, but this year my brother had to tend to a personal matter, by which I mean he accidentally scheduled a Grindr date at the same time we were set to record, and he chose to go on the date instead. So while my sister and I shared Christmas memories, our brother was off at a rest area on the Jersey Turnpike taking a truck driver in the mouth through a hole in a bathroom wall. But we still made a fun show out of it. In fact, we did take a moment to really shit all over my brother's friends. And it was only after said shitting occurred that I found out that one of my brother's friends actually listens to the show on a very regular basis. Mr. Bogo, we here at the Savage Sacktap are happy to have your ear. The way I found out is particularly hilarious. My sister and I were discussing an old English Christmas tradition called barring out the schoolmaster. And what they would do is kids would essentially declare the start of Christmas vacation by showing up at school with muskets, and they would lock the door, and they would shoot at the principal when he showed up for work. And this is a very real thing. It still continues in parts of the United States today, but kids prefer to use an AR-15, and they don't limit their activity to the holiday season. Anyway, my sister and I were discussing who she would like to shoot with a musket if she was going to show up at school to bar out the schoolmaster. And she actually said she didn't have a teacher that she would want to shoot at. She referred to our friend Smith, who is in my brother's immediate group of friends. And this is a friend group that gathers every year to celebrate Festivus. So when the airing of the grievances came about, Bogo, another one of my brother's friends, who happens to listen to this show, presented a clip several minutes long of me and my sister making fun of all of my brother's friends. And if you want to go back and hear it, you can. It's in the Christmas show. It's the last episode before this one. And needless to say, I mean, we shit all over them. We shit on them like a Waffle House bathroom on a Sunday morning is what I had in my notes here. But I don't know, maybe like a Trump voter in the halls of Congress. We'll tend to that later. But yeah, it was bad. I think I wished for Smith and I were riding in a car together, and I believe I wished for the car to be T-boned so that I wouldn't have to hear him yell about politics anymore. Which is probably not something that you want to hear about yourself the day before Christmas Eve. But 'twas all in good fun. They're a bunch of good little shits. I don't actually want any of them to get hit by cars. My sister might want to shoot a few of them, but you have to check with her for confirmation. Before we move on, though, I should give you a better picture of what these guys are like and what this Festivus tradition is all about, because you're probably like, what the fuck do you mean they were celebrating Festivus? They've been doing this for quite some time. The first time they celebrated as a group was my brother's senior year of high school. I was in college. I was a senior. I was home for Christmas break. My cousin had just graduated Marine Corps boot camp. So I picked up a bunch of booze, and I had it in the fridge in the basement, and my brother asked me to grab him a case of beer and some Jack Daniels for Festivus, and of course, as a big supporter of underage drinking, I obliged. And my parents were out for dinner. They went out for like 3 hours. Like, this is not the amount of time in which someone can have a 20-person drinking party in their basement and have it complete and be all cleaned up before their parents get home. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking, but I left with my cousin to go to a strip club. If you're local, we were on our way to Stiletto out on Route 17 it was Giant Stadium, now MetLife Stadium. Within 15 minutes of leaving the house, my sister, who happens to be my brother's twin and graduated high school with all of these fucking dorks, called me and was like, hey, you gotta get back here. These fucking idiots are wasted already. The basement's a fucking mess. Mom and dad are gonna shit. So I played college football, so I was pretty fucking stout. I think around that, when this went down, I was probably about I'm 5'8". I was probably around 205. My cousin had just graduated boot camp, so he looked like fucking Animal Mother from Full Metal Jacket. And my other buddy who was with us is, he's never competed, but he's essentially a bodybuilder / power lifter and former high school wrestler. He's fucking yoked. Like, he's my height, but he might weigh... If he had 50 or 60 pounds on me, I wouldn't be shocked. So the three of us come back, we walk downstairs, and there's a dozen little fucking 17-year-old Millhouse Van Houtens just wasted, throwing printer paper all over the fucking place, and running laps around this pool table. And when I say they're running laps, this isn't a big room. we had a room that was just barely big enough to house a pool table. We had to have a short queue so that if you were on one of the long walls or like the long sides of the table, you could use it without slamming into the wall like fucking Kramer and Frank Costanza when they're playing with the maestro. But these kids had, inside of maybe an hour, because they started drinking before I had left, they polished off all of the booze, and they had moved on. This was like a case of beer and a full bottle of Jack. And remember, this is a bunch of teenage twinks, all right? They're not big guys who can really hold their liquor at this point. This is, for some of them, it might have been one of their first drinking experiences. They had now moved on to a dusty bottle of Ouzo that was underneath the bar that I guess my parents' friend had brought back from a vacation to Greece. So that's a shitty fucking gift, by the way. Fucking Ouzo sucks. But that's the scene that we walked in on when we came in to clear the place out. And some of them had to actually be physically removed because they were unable to move themselves. Like, it was two distinct different reactions among the crowd. Some of them saw my fucking cousin come down like a fucking skinhead ready to commit a hate crime and just sprinted out of the basement. I think he tossed one of them up against a wall just to make an example of somebody as the kids were on their way out. And then some of the other ones couldn't move at all. So some of them are sprinting out of the basement like it's an ice raid on a Chinatown sweatshop. It's just little people scattering everywhere. And then some of them are just so hammered that they're moving like fucking slugs. So my sister and her friend raced to clean up the basement. My brother is blacked out, puking all over himself in the kitchen. And so is his one fucking slug friend that we couldn't get out of the house. So we propped them both up on a couple of chairs in the kitchen, and we tried to start like cleaning them up, like we're wiping crusted vomit off of their fucking faces. And that is when the front door opens and my parents walked in. My cousin tried to cut my mother off at the pass, but 'twas all for naught. I think my mom's favorite line from that night was, "Aunt Mary, please don't go in the kitchen." But she entered the kitchen nonetheless, and I heard her exclaim as she saw my brother, "Oh my God, Joey!" He was just slumped in a chair, slurring his words, vomit all over the place. My father picked him up and like fireman dragged him to the shower, and we had like a detachable, one of those detachable heads that you can just run all over your grundle and butthole and ball sack, and it feels awesome. We had one of those, and my dad he just hosed him off like a dog on a muddy day. It was amazing. One of my absolute favorite holiday memories. And again, they may be a dorky bunch, a bunch of little closet stuffed nerds, but I do actually enjoy hanging with them, and I respect these kids for keeping the tradition going now for about 15 years. They do the whole fucking thing. They do the feats of strength. They air their grievances, everything. And like I said, while we do mock them relentlessly in the Montone house, they are, for the most part, good shit. So it's not that we hate those guys. It's that we like them. We just like to rip on them. It's fun. It's fun to shit on people that you like. If your friend is eating a bowl of cereal, it's fun to walk over and piss in it sometimes. But yeah, sorry, my fucking throat's a little fried. I was getting cheebed up before. The rest of the holidays were lovely. I ate like a motherfucker. I was disgustingly bloated the entire time. Like, to the point where it wasn't even fun eating anymore, but I continued to do it because I don't have any self-respect. New Year's Eve, I like to get a workout in on holidays because I know I'm always going to be putting shit into my body. And I had like a protein shake and everything after I worked out, but I just couldn't get a solid dump out. Like, I was drinking coffee, everything. Fucking, salt water, lukewarm salt water with lime. Every fucking trick that I could get to get a fucking turd to shoot out of my asshole. But I just been eating so poorly, and it just for like Christmas and cookies and fucking salami and Italian food and shit, that my bowels were in no mood for a healthy movement. So I was ripping ass all day, couldn't get a dump out until like 8 o'clock, when I was already at my sister's apartment for a New Year's Eve party, and her bathroom is right near the kitchen and the dining area where everyone was kind of convened. So I made like, multiple bathroom runs to finally clear everything out. And each time I'm in there for like 10 minutes shitting and farting my brains out. So it's blatant to everybody there what's going on, because there's only 6 people in the apartment. So my absence was palpable. And I'd go in and, I'd fucking clear a little out. I did eventually clear it all out. And then I'm eating again afterwards, because it's just one of the best eating weeks of the year, and I'm a glutton, and I'm horrible, and I have no respect for myself. And I continue to eat after shitting my brains out, and I feel like on a human level, there's just something unsettling about watching somebody eat, knowing they've just taken a shit and had to use one of those hands to guide the toilet paper through their doo-doo caked butthole. No matter how well you wash up, people are still looking at you, and they're like, you're holding the fork and you're picking up the Tostitos with poop fingers. And I mean, I am an aggressive hand washer, but you just can't escape that. I think it's probably something deep down in our evolution from back in the day, when we had to avoid eating diseased food, or fucking, getting near livestock, or whatever the fuck we were up to. And I guess it is better than the I would rather have a guy who does a good job of wiping his ass and then takes his time to wash his hands. That would be better to me than some guy who does a hasty job of wiping his ass because he doesn't want to spend too much time back there. Because then the alternative is you now have a guy at your party in a small apartment with an unwiped hiney and only a thin pair of pants in between. And no one, if I can give you a piece of advice, fellas, nobody ever wants to be around a man with an unwashed asshole. That's what I say. That's what I think. Anyway, with the beginning of one year brings us the end of another year, and oftentimes radio shows or podcasts they'll reflect on the year that was, and they'll look for poignant moments. And with all of the awful things that happened in the year 2020, I was trying to figure out what was the worst thing, right? So I was going through the contenders, and we had the videos of fucking celebrities singing, what did they sing? Imagine. That was awful. The gyms closed down for almost, March to September. It was 6 months in New Jersey. Some places they're still fucking closed. We had those assholes who were clapping to themselves in their apartments at 6 p.m. every night. That was pretty terrible. Chip Chipperson was robbed of victory in the Tournament of Laughs on TBS. We saw the death of Quibi, the popularity of Uncut Gems, which in my opinion absolutely fucking sucked. A grown man trying to get his special rock back from Kevin Garnett, who believes said rock. I'm sorry, Kevin Garnett. I have a fucking, I don't know. I got a little scratch in my throat, and I'm not pronouncing things right. I shouldn't be making excuses. I pronounced Kevin Garnett's name like a fucking asshole right there. But Kevin Garnett taking your special expensive rock because he believes it to be magic, even though you know you need that rock to pay off a fucking gambling debt or whatever. This isn't a plausible storyline, alright? That movie was just infuriatingly stupid. I wanted to walk out of the theater as soon as KG walked out with the rock, but I'd snuck in a a trove of tasty snacks from Trader Joe's. So I just feasted and kind of hate watched my way through it. I was so happy when that guy shot Adam Sandler in the face at the end. And I say that, by the way, as a very big Adam Sandler fan, all right? Just not an Uncut Gems fan. His fucking, that CD where they're like they go to the water, where they drive by the water slide and they're talking about the old man's balls and, oh, it's fucking hilarious. Joining the religious cult. There's some great sketches on that. Sex or weightlifting. It's like, oh, we're two guys fucking. All of it fucking hilarious. Just, I never want to watch Uncut Gems again. But it would take an entire episode to settle on the number one terrible thing from 2020. And in addition to the aforementioned moments, I would like to submit this self-indulgent pile of horseshit that I found in the world of journalism. I want to submit this as the worst thing that happened in 2020. Julie Wolfe, the news director of Louisville, Kentucky's WHAS 11, Louisville's leading local news. That's Louisville's leading local news. Quite an accolade. That's like being the most athletic kid in a Shriners Hospital commercial. I happened upon Julie's note after it was shared on Twitter by some of my former news industry colleagues. And while I really do love my old friends from the news industry, very nice people, but I cannot help but cringe whenever they indulge in this kind of just self-sucking silliness. So let's see what old Jules had to say to her contemporaries. She writes, "Dear 2020 journalist, you are stronger than you know. If I had told you in January you'd produce from home, track from your closet, master Zoom, and anchor from your living room this year, you would have laughed and then cried." By the way, I produced this show from home. And the only reason I cry is because I look at the download numbers and I'm forced to the realization that I'm spending precious chunks of my limited time on Earth shouting into the void about my defecation habits and views on current events. That's why I cry. Not because I have to record some audio at home. And she certainly missed the mark with being brought to tears by working from the living room and mastering Zoom. I think you remember renowned journalist Jeffrey Toobin was doing just that, and he appeared to enjoy it so much that he became sexually aroused and began pleasuring himself during one such Zoom call. Although I will say, it does take a certain kind of strength to muster an erection with that many people watching. So perhaps journalists are stronger people than we think. Anyway, she continues, "But here you are, focusing on facts, seeking truth, sharing stories, wearing your masks, bathed in hand sanitizer, doing your job. A job that some people hate you for doing. They were loud in 2020, but you were strong." Ugh. I mean, I kind of emphasized the ugh there, but the first time I read this, a couple weeks ago, it actually made me physically retch. As it does whenever I hear fucking news people talk about the search for truth or whatever bullshit lines these people feed the public. Alright, I worked in news for almost a decade, okay? I grew up around the industry. It's none of that. The American news industry is basically information served to you Applebee's style. They keep it enticing, and they keep it salty enough to keep you there ordering food and drinking Bud Light, and everything you ingest is absolute dog shit. Okay? Never during a staff meeting in a newsroom did I hear a word about finding important stories, filtering out the clickbaity garbage, or focusing on things that really impact people's lives. Not a once. You know what I heard every day? We need more page views, we need more clicks, more listeners, more eyeballs, more engagement, more ears, all of that shit. like with the exception of the rare like exclusive story. And by the way, exclusive doesn't mean it's a good story. It just means that nobody gave enough of a fuck to cover it. Because everyone covers the same shit. Literally, the only difference is how they dress it up to attract the customer. And I think people are smart enough. Some people are smart enough to see through this, and the reason that they hate the news so much is because they see through it, and they hate that these people are on TV or the radio or writing articles, treating them like fucking idiots and telling them what to think. But the people who run newsrooms have their heads so far up their fucking asses that they don't think the audience is smart enough to go and seek out information on their own. So it's really, really... what I would, if I was as a news viewer, you should feel insulted, is what I'm saying. Anytime you turn on any major news channel. And the line about doing your job with a mask on and bathed in a hand sanitizer is just particularly fucking ridiculous, since the entire planet has been wearing a fucking mask and bathing their hands in hand sanitizer for the past 10 months. That is not... I don't know why that was shoehorned in there. Maybe she felt she needed to beef it up. But the entire planet's been doing that. It is not unique to the news industry. What else? Because she didn't stop there. You were strong enough to battle the isolation, the fear, the unknown. Strong enough to ask tough, soul-searching questions, not just in our interviews, but in our newsrooms. Strong enough to ask for help, because we all needed it in 2020. The fear, the unknown. You cocksuckers turned a virus into 24/7 porn. You are specifically responsible for creating the fear. People were so convinced back in March and April because of the fucking news, they were convinced they could pass a deadly and unstoppable virus by coming within 6 feet of another person for a fucking nanosecond. And then, after a few weeks of that, the news industry, benevolent and wise as they are, poured gasoline all over society, and then they lit a fucking Zippo and they threw it on the puddle. When they broke from their 24/7 virus coverage and began 24/7 virus and race war coverage. I mean, they are just fucking vultures who prey on people's worst moments, the deteriorating mental health of the American people, and the loss of livelihoods across the country. Preyed on that shit for the sake of, some Arbitron ratings, or whatever the fuck, whoever rates whatever. I don't even fucking know. These fucking jerk-offs, page views and listeners and downloads and shares and suck my cock. She can I'm sorry. I sound like a bit of a broken record then, don't I? She concludes, if you're a journalist at the end of 2020, you are strong. Stay strong, because what you do matters. 2020 proved that. Thank you, and Merry Christmas. You've earned it. Yeah. Alright. 2020 exposed the news industry for exactly what it is. A conglomeration of just complete fucking buffoons. And by the way, I think I said this earlier. There are good, smart, funny, talented people working in news. But what you have to understand is that they are so severely outnumbered and outspoken by the self-indulgent jackasses like this woman that their voices may as well not even matter. They are reduced to grumbling in the corner amongst themselves because of the idiots that they are surrounded on. And I've literally physically seen them grumbling in the corner amongst themselves. And I have joined them to grumble with them, because you're just surrounded by buffoonery. And if you really want to see the kind of buffoonery that journalists are capable of, one of the great love stories of our time highlights it perfectly. as the New York Post reports. A New York journalist fell in love with infamous pharma bro Martin Shkreli and upended her perfect life for him, quitting her job and divorcing her husband, she revealed in a new report. Former Bloomberg News reporter Christy Smith, 38, opened up about her relationship with the convicted fraudster for the first time in an Elle magazine article published Sunday. I fell down the rabbit hole, Smith told the mag of her life-altering romance with Shkreli, 37, who is serving a 7-year sentence for scamming investors in hedge funds he operated. I'm happy here. I feel like I have purpose, she gushed. Amazing. That is the kind of brain we're dealing with when we talk about journalists, and especially New York City journalists in the digital age. It would take me an entire episode to even dissect how this fucking happens. Like, to read the article. The Elle article is long as fuck. I'm just giving you kind of the Cliff's Notes New York Post version. The next time you're taking a dump, do yourself a favor and read the Elle article if you want to get into the psyche of an absolute fucking nut job. It's like it reads like the plot of a shitty 1990s romance movie. If you enjoyed One Fine Day or The Wedding Planner, then you might empathize with this nut job. Except she's not taking a bite out of J-Lo's fat ass or getting dicked down by a young George Clooney. Instead, she's leaving the man that she vowed to love till death do us part because she spent some time chatting with an inmate who looks like a fully grown elf. You really, really can't make this shit up. The Post continues. The Kansas City, Missouri native first crossed paths... I am sorry, I gotta get this cock out of my mouth. First crossed paths with Shkreli in 2015 when she learned she was under federal investigation... he was under federal investigation for securities law violations. At the time, Smith was married and had the perfect little Brooklyn life, she said. I don't even know what that means. It's like kombucha and pegging your boyfriend, I think is the, or your husband in her case, is the perfect little Brooklyn life. Maybe a little Soul Cycle. Anyway, this is just fucking brilliant. I mean, this woman is Lena Dunham's character in Girls come to life. She's living in Brooklyn, working in New York media. She had what every naive, wide-eyed, ambitious, millennial idiot with a communication degree pines for, and she threw it all away for the guy who wanted to charge AIDS patients shitloads of money for life-saving medication or whatever the fuck he was up to. I don't actually know the particulars of that story that well, because it was a fucking while ago, but I think it was something like that. I think he wanted to charge AIDS patients a lot of money for something, but I don't fucking know. I don't know. The New York Times doesn't hold itself accountable to the facts. I'm not holding myself accountable to the facts. Fuck you! Anyway, she described her increasing involvement with Shkreli over the next few years as incremental decisions where you're like slowly boiling yourself to death in the bathtub. By the way, if she was locked with him in a cell, like if they were, hostage together or exiled on a desert island, I would kind of get this. But this is just so fucking ridiculous. This is a step above the plot in Night at the Roxbury where Chris Kattan is hitting on the voice at the other end of the credit card customer service line. Like, it defies logic. And it defies logic even more so when they fill in the other little details about Martin Shkreli. Listen to the Post says. This is fucking great. The Post is like one of the few media outlets that I don't hate just because they entertain the shit out of me. Public hatred for Shkreli is well documented. Some 134 prospective jurors were tossed from his trial as they variously described him as evil and said he looks like a dick, the Post reported at the time. He is also known for going after female journalists who cover the trial, buying URLs in the names of two, including a Post reporter, and offering to sell the domains for $12,000. The reviled pharma exec even once said that, if acquitted, he would fuck a freelance writer who had spurned his advances. It's like literally everyone who has interacted with this guy has come away from the experience calling him a huge fucking jerk-off, except for this Smith lady. In the summer of 2018, Smith quit Bloomberg over her connection to Shkreli. Soon after, I told Martin I loved him in a prison visitation room that smelled like chicken wings, she recalled to Elle. He told me he loved me too, Smith said, and the two kissed. She added, it's hard to think of a time when I felt happier. And when I first read that line, I felt awful for her ex-husband. And then I realized that this is probably the best thing that has ever happened to him. He gets a free pass out of a marriage with an absolute lunatic and will probably get to keep everything since his ex-wife's absurd antics are splattered all over every fucking paper in the city. And I really like thinking about it like that. I like to picture old-timey newsboys on the street corner just hawking tabloids as men of business go about their day in the financial district. Extra, extra, read all about it. Batshit insane journalist leaves husband for imprisoned felon. You there, boy, give me a copy. I must read this tale. Your headline sounds too preposterous to believe. 5 cents, sir. Yeah, keep the change, kid. Why, I say, this broad is indeed batshit insane. I haven't heard a yarn so ripping since that scoundrel absconded with the Lindbergh baby. Or something like that. I don't fucking know. I think I literally just chased listeners off of the Facebook live stream. And deservedly so, because that was just absolutely terrible. You take a shot, you swing, you miss. It happens. At least I'm not a journalist banging a fucking convicted felon. The pair have discussed their kids' names and prenups, and Smith said she even froze her eggs out of fear she'd be too old to have children by the time her life partner is freed. Now, of course, we could put a bow on the whole thing right there, since the whole point of this was to demonstrate that this chick, like many other journalists, is a grade A wacko. But every hot fudge sundae needs a cherry on top, and you may as well call Shkreli the ice cream man, because boy did he serve up a sweet little conclusion to this story. Though she was described as Shkreli's bride-to-be by his attorneys, Smith said they're actually life partners. However, it looks as if Smith, speaking out about the love connection, may have poured cold water on their romance. A statement her beau gave to Elle read, Mr. Shkreli wishes Smith the best of luck in her future endeavors. Upon hearing his detached words, Smith, who has sold the movie rights to a book proposal about Shkreli, quietly said, That's sweet, the mag reported. That's him saying, you're going to live your life, and we're just not going to be together. That I'm going to maybe get my book, and that our paths will fork up, Smith continued, tearing up. I'm sorry, I butchered the reading there, but just the perfect button for the perfect story. This woman is so fucked in the head that even a man stuck behind bars, surrounded by soap-dropping buttfuck boys, who is detested by the public to a degree that finding a girlfriend upon his release will be a nearly insurmountable task. This person, does not want to keep her in his bullpen for when he gets out. If you needed to make a character sketch of the millennial flyover transplant living in Brooklyn and writing for Elle, this bitch would be it. I mean, this is beyond parody. I almost didn't need to spend time breaking it down. I could have just said, hey, read this article and enjoy. I am so fucking glad I got out of that industry. I've also been quite glad to have been able to go back to the gym, where I'm going to be honest, over the past 4 months, my gains have been coming back, and the cheeks be clapping, baby. I'll get to the gains part in a second, but first, the cheeks. I want to give a tip of my cap to the gals who work out at Retro Hoboken. I harp on the negatives about that place all the time. The douchey gym bros, the equipment, the crowds, the bad etiquette among the other members. But we can't all be we can't be negative Nancys all the time. Sometimes we have to be a positive Peter. And actually, I think Positive Peter is what Freddie Mercury called his dick. But nevertheless, the chicks at Retro Hoboken, as I have observed these past few months, are training their fucking asses off. Squats, deadlifts, weighted carries, multi-joint movements. They are putting the douche bros who come in for a daily set of curls and barbell rows to absolute shame. And not only are they doing it while maintaining fantastic gym etiquette, they are more importantly doing it in my favorite new type of female workout attire, the high-waisted yoga pant. If you see a pair of these on a chick with an ass built by squats and deadlifts, it's an absolute delight. And they wear them with these sort of like midriff or short-cut shirts, so it shows off the entire package. And it's tremendous, and I am firmly against like gym creeping and oogling, and I don't hit on chicks at the gym. I think that's fucking weird. My feeling is that if you swagger up to some girl uninvited with your right eye half shut and the smell of sweaty balls pulsating from your loins, you're probably going to strike out. So I avoid it, and as I understand, dudes who do try to spit game at the gym are often seen as an annoyance. So I kind of keep to myself, and I don't stare because it's rude and creepy to stare. But when you are in a confined space and there's a mirror on every wall and there's some chick with a heavy set of fucking cheeks strutting behind you, the laws of physics say that you will end up catching a glimpse, and those glimpses are just an absolute delight. One of nature's little miracles, like Halley's Comet or Aurora Borealis. So, great job, ladies. Keep up the great work. Keep doing it. And with regard to the gains that I mentioned earlier, I figured I'd give you guys my plan for the first couple months of 2021 here. Weird saying that, 2021. Quick sip. I've been doing this Mark Ripito program called Starting Strength, and it's a program that's designed for beginners to get them into the big multi-joint lifts like squats, deadlifts, presses, cleans, pull-ups. And I'm not a beginner, but since I was out of the gym for so much of March, from fucking March through August, and all I had at my disposal were some adjustable dumbbells and some relatively light kettlebells, bands, and my own body weight, I was doing just these random high-rep workouts, trying to keep as much muscle as possible. It was really hard because I just couldn't create the training effect that I'm used to. There's just a huge difference between doing push-ups and being able to press a loaded bar that has hundreds of pounds on it and apply that to any exercise. You know, you can do all the fucking box jumps you want. You're not building what you can by putting a few hundred pounds on your back squatting. So I was looking very fit and very healthy at the end of the summer, but I felt my muscles were lacking a lot of pop. Like, I'd be on the beach in August, and I would see some dude who clearly had access to a gym or had like a legit home gym set up and looking fucking jacked, and I'd be like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, I felt like a little twink. Like, a bully should have come over and kicked sand in my face. Like the old Charles Atlas poster. And so with all of that in mind, I figured that this would be a perfect opportunity to kind of not start from zero, but sort of closer to the bottom and pay attention to rebuilding a strength base and really going about it like kind of brick by brick the smart way, which, you know, you don't really... How often do you get a chance to do that? And COVID just kind of, you know, dropped that in my lap. So that's why I chose a program that's usually recommended for beginners. So after a few more months of starting strength, I'm going to do like 8 more weeks of a more advanced strength program. I'll tell you about that one in the spring. And then when the summer comes around, I'm going to try a more traditional bodybuilding program so I can look like a sexy piece of beefcake for all the spicy ladies down the shore. Yeah, you hang out some of those places like fucking Donovan's, Jenks, DJ's, Bar A. A great mix of Hispanic chicks, Italians, Asians, regular white chicks. Delicious, tasty. Get after it. And they do like a nice muscular boy. So right now I'm starting what is it's phase 3 of starting strength, and it's made up of an A workout and a B workout. Through phase 1, the A workout was squats, presses, and deadlifts. 3 sets of 5 for squats and presses, and 1 set of 5 for deadlifts. And the B workout is the same thing, but you rotate the presses and the dead. So one day you do overhead press, the next day you do the next time you do a bench press, and then for the deadlift, same thing. One day I would do a Romanian deadlift, and then one day I'll do a trap bar deadlift. So I did that for 3 weeks, and you alternate between the 2 lifts, or 3 days a week alternating between the 2 lifts for a month. Move into phase 2 in October, where you replace one of the deadlift days with power cleans, which have been a fucking blast. I love power cleans. I'll be doing them through the spring up until I jump onto that bodybuilding program, hoping I can get my clean back up to like 200 pounds. That would be cool, and I think the visual results from that would also be pretty impressive, because you can't look like a weak bitch if you're cleaning above your body weight. So now in phase 3, we replace one day of deadlifting with chin-ups, and one of the squat days becomes a little bit lighter. So now my week looks like this. It's Monday, squat, 3 sets of 5. I do a plate press for 3 sets of 5. That's my overhead press now. So a plate press is you basically you take a plate, weight plate, whatever you want, like a 35 or 45, and you hold it like you're a waiter carrying a tray up on your hand, and you press it overhead, and it forces you to really work with good technique and engage your core and everything like that. And I was having some shoulder issues, so I wanted to make sure I was really getting the technique down, not hurting myself. So I switched from a dumbbell press to a plate press. So 3 sets, 5 reps of that, and then cleans 5 sets of 3 reps. The cleans, you don't go higher in reps with cleans. You want to do it's very explosive, so you just want to train it in that ATP training zone where you're just short, quick fucking bursts. Then on Wednesday, the heavy squat is replaced by an overhead squat. That's where the program recommends a lighter day. So if I'm using lightweight, I figured I may as well use the lightweight to learn how to do an overhead squat. I've always wanted to learn how to do them. Overhead squat's an amazing exercise. If you're not doing it, I would totally recommend. I've kind of fucked with them in the past as like a warm-up or whatever, but I like adding them now, and I think it's one of those things I'm going to keep working on as we go on. And then for pressing, for my chest, I'm using the incline dumbbell press for 3 sets of 5, and then that's the Wednesday is my heavy deadlift day as well. So I'm still rotating between the trap bar and the straight bar. So I'll give you a more succinct look since I kind of rambled there. But Wednesday, overhead squat, 3 sets of 5, dumbbell incline press, 3 sets of 5, deadlift, 1 set of 5. Then Friday, we're back to squatting heavy again, and the pressing movement is it's called a landmine press, where you take, if you see the rowing setup that some guys use in the corner, where it's like a barbell stuck into the corner, and they use it to do bent over rows. You can take that, and you can also pick it up, and you can press it. And look, explaining over a podcast doesn't really work. If you're watching me on the live stream, you can see how I'm doing it. But you look it up on YouTube, landmine press. It's fucking great. You can do a one arm. You can do a 2-hand. There are a lot of landmine movements that are really shoulder friendly, and that's why I use them, because I've been having some shoulder issues. And then on Fridays, we replace deadlifts and cleans with chin-ups, which I'm going to rotate every other week between body weight and weight added. So the body weight days, I'll just go higher. I'll go probably a couple reps below failure, and then the weighted will be similar to the pressing and everything like that. It'll be like a 3x5 or something like that. So I have a couple other notes on this, and if you're not, I know if you're listening to this, I have some people might not be gym people, so just bear with me. We're gonna get some other shit in a few minutes. You can jump ahead if you have to, if you're listening on the recorded version. I stopped bench pressing because my back was too weak for the weights I was using to press. You need to have good strength balance between your back and your chest and triceps to bench press properly, because you have to contract the muscles of the mid and upper back and really drive through the bench. There are a lot of people don't realize about bench pressing is you're not just laying there and pressing a bar. I mean, you can do that and you'll be able to move some kind of weight, but to truly bench press, when you set up, you need to squeeze your back muscles together. You need to clamp down, and then when you set up, you're really trying to create tension through your back and shoulders and the bench and the floor where your feet are planted. And then when you bring the bar down, you're pulling it and you're bringing your chest up to meet the bar. And then when your chest meets the bar, you're driving your feet into the ground and you're driving your back and shoulders into the bench itself. And you really can't do that if your back won't squeeze the right way. And if you have like a desk job or something like that where you're kind of like hunched and everything, which I do, I'm at a board for radio, I'm at my laptop doing stuff, it can kind of essentially tightens your chest muscles, and it stretches out your back muscles, and it makes it harder for them to contract and squeeze in together. That's why so many people have desk jobs, by the way, have back problems. So if you get nothing else from all this workout mumbo jumbo, it's because your chest, one of the many things, there's some stuff going on in your hips and shit too. There's shortening of the hip muscles and weakening of the glutes, but up top, your chest muscles are shortening, and your back muscles are lengthening. They're getting looser and weaker, and that eventually you start pressing down on nerves and stuff. You start getting your range of motion in your shoulders starts getting shorter. All sorts of dysfunction going on. So, in addition to the squatting, deadlifting, and pressing, I've been adding in extra back work like TRX rows, horizontal pull-ups, seated rows, different mobility drills. I've been out using fucking booty bands, also known as mini bands if you're looking for them online. I've been doing a lot of yoga on my non-lifting days, and then because, like I said, I want to be a sexy boy on the beach, I've been including some additional ab and arm work. And I've been jumping rope to burn fat. And if this sounds like it's a lot, it's really not. My lift days, I'm in the gym for about 90 minutes at a time. Yoga is once a week at home for less than an hour. And then I will jump on the jump rope and do mobility drills in the park for 45 minutes, like twice a week. So what I'm saying is it's not a huge time commitment. And I think a lot of people put up this barrier about, oh, I don't have time to exercise, and it's like, no, you're full of shit. All right, I'm a person who is hardcore in my workout habits, and I'm only giving up like 6 hours a week to do all of this shit. And I think everyone has 6 hours somewhere in their week, right? But if you don't want to be hardcore, you don't need 6 hours. You've got 3 hours a week, right? Like how much TV watching and fucking scrolling do you do? You definitely do 3 hours a week of it, right? Instead of that, get a fucking jump rope and jump every day. You know, find a big hill and run up it every day. Get a kettlebell and swing it every day. If you can't afford a gym membership, just buy a fucking kettlebell. Buy sandbags at home. You can get Home Depot deliver sandbags. Cover them in tape so they don't bust open, and just use those are your weights. You can research some really basic home workouts on YouTube. There's millions of them up there. That's where I get my yoga workouts. I don't pay to go to a fucking yoga studio. I yoga with Adrienne. Freebie, baby. Free. But whatever the fuck it is, I just want to impart on you as we enter this new year, you got to do something physical. It's amazing how much better your life gets when you focus on taking care of yourself. And I don't mean like the bullshit self-care, like I'm sad, let me curl up with a bottle of wine, a pint of ice cream, and watch The Office, which it does sound lovely once I verbalize it, but I mean like actual self-care. Like, pay attention, get exercise, sleep, sunshine, fresh air, take care of personal hygiene, keep your work and your living space clean, eat healthy food, don't spend money on bullshit. There are just these insanely basic things that people can do to drastically improve their lives. But I think a lot of people, I don't even know if they don't want to do it. I think it's they don't realize how little these things are and how huge of an effect that they can have if they become everyday things. You can get, if you're that limited for time, can you get a salad with grilled chicken at 7-Eleven, eat lunch on a bench outside after sprinting up a big hill? I mean, that's 45 minutes, right? If you get a lunch break, that's 45 minutes. You knock that out. And I don't want to sound like I'm fucking ripping off Jordan Peterson, who he's kind of a lunatic, but he also has some very valid points about things like self-care and self-respect and personal responsibility. And I think they're incredibly applicable at this time of year because people kind of use January to dry out after the holidays. They want to spend less money. They want to eat less. They want to move more, whatever, right? They just made their New Year's resolutions. They've just gone through December is a time of gluttony, and you're spending money, and you're eating junk. And like I said, I was having all sorts of fucking bowel problems. And I think a lot of people want a product or a one-sentence cure or some kind of secret, but really, it's just doing basic shit. And this year really might be more important than it's been in a long time, just because of what so many people went through over the past 9 or 10 months, right? Like, fuck, isolation, loss of income, possible illness or death in your family, uncertainty about your future, right? That kind of shit can cause a lot of stress and anxiety. And if you don't find healthy outlets for those kind of things, then you can very easily spiral into despondency and depression, right? All of us, I mean, you're hearing the reports, deaths of despair are on the rise. And if you see, we'll talk about it in a little bit, people are trying to figure out why all these fucking angry white guys like Donald Trump so much. It's because their lives are in the shitter and they're looking for someone to lead them out. That's the path, right? All of a sudden, not only you go down, you kind of go into this spiral, but not only do you have the problems you had before, but you wind up in a spot where mentally, I think it's even harder to help yourself out. And I say that as someone who has been stuck in those spots before and not realized that it was doing the little things that get you out of those spots. So, I'm a big Joey Diaz fan, and he's always tweeting every Monday morning. He's like, Monday morning, you got to greet the day with a big dick and a fucking whatever the fuck he says. I don't know. I can't be Uncle Joey, but I do want to tell you to go into 2021 ready to swing your big hard fucking dick at the universe. All right, whatever your circumstances or your gender or whatever is going on, wherever you are, plump up your fucking hog and get ready to clap some butt cheeks, all right? And I mean that in both the metaphorical and literal sense, because, let's be honest, clapping butt cheeks, a lot of fun. Good time. Fuck. All right. Now, let's say we discuss the old controversy in Washington. Somehow, the 7-9 Washington football team squeaked into the playoffs with a little help from the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff, and people are fucking pissed. And if you're not a football fan, too bad. If you're not a football fan, you're probably watching this live stream because there's a fucking playoff game on right now that I'm missing because I had some lighting issues and I had to go out and buy a new fucking light today, so my schedule got all fucking thrown off. So I'm missing part of the fucking night game here, and I missed the entire afternoon game because I was out buying this fucking light. Fuck me. Anyway, the NFC East was a huge clusterfuck all year, so no matter what, the playoff spot, every division gets a playoff spot. The playoff spot from the NFC East was going to go to a shitty team, no which way about it. Basically, it was going to be the team who ended the season in the least shitty manner. So the shitty Giants beat the shitty Cowboys, and they needed the shitty Eagles to beat the shitty Washington football team. And in the second half of the game between the shitty Eagles and the shitty Washington team, Eagles coach Doug Peterson pulled his somewhat shitty quarterback Jalen Hurts so he could give some playing time to even shittier quarterback Nate Sudfeld, making it easier for the shitty Washington team to beat the shitty Philadelphia team, and giving the shitty Washington team the playoff spot over the shitty New York Giants, which prompted the New York Giants fans, who are a huge bunch of douchebags under even the best of circumstances, to lose their collective minds and accuse Peterson of throwing the game and disrespecting football and this laundry list of other things. Fucking Sal Palantonio, I think he's from ESPN, or ESPN, I think, wants the NFL to investigate. Look, I spent the better part of 2 decades playing and coaching football. I still watch it religiously. Even right now, the TV is... I never have the TV on when I podcast. The TV is on right now with the fucking... The football game is on. The NFL Network is always running on. I fucking cream over football. It's the greatest sport in the world. Nate Sudfeld... So I'm just saying that so I can give you guys some fucking perspective as a football player. Nate Sudfeld had been on the Eagles for 2 years and never played a snap. He was allowed to play for less than half of a game that had no impact on his team's season. And he was given the chance to play, not because Doug Peterson wanted to lose or whatever ridiculous fucking nonsense Giants fans pulled out of their asses. He was given the chance to play because he was on the team for 2 years, he was coming to practice, he was doing his job, and he deserved to play in a game, so they let him do that in a game that for his team, it didn't matter. If they won, they lost, whatever. Might affect their draft position a little bit. But the bottom line is, Sudfeld, they're saying he might not even be on the Eagles for the next season. Who the fuck knows if he's going to be in the league next season? May never get to do this again. So his coach let him play. And Peterson mentioned this prior to the game, I believe. He said it was part of their game plan. And it is an entirely reasonable thing to do. If you're on an NFL roster, it's because you are capable of playing in and winning an NFL game. Okay? If you didn't belong there, you wouldn't be there. The term next man up gets thrown around a lot in the NFL because the expectation is that if one guy gets injured in what is a very violent game, then the next guy will come in and he will perform that job in a similarly competent manner. Remember, these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. The league minimum is like $300,000. So even if you're a scrub, you play 3 years in the league, you're like a fucking millionaire. And of course there are outliers, but for the most part, the expectation is that if you are wearing an NFL uniform, you can come in and play in an NFL game. But yeah, of course, outliers. You wouldn't expect to get the same result as an all-star. Like if you put your backup, like the Cowboys had Andy Dalton playing in place of Dak Prescott. Of course, we don't expect Andy Dalton to do what Dak Prescott does, but we expect him to do a very good job. You expect him to perform competently at the very least. So in the case of the Eagles-Skins game, we have Jalen Hurts. He's put a big passing yard. It was against like the Cowboys. It wasn't against world-beating defenses, and he wasn't having an amazing game against Washington. So, you know, you're essentially replacing a mediocre player with you're replacing a slightly above average player with a mediocre player. And honestly, without the playoff bid on the line for the Giants and the Skins, nobody would have batted a fucking eye. But unfortunately, it involved one of the biggest jerk-off fan bases in all of sports, the New York Giants. And, you know, you look at the NFC East, and it's easy to say that the Eagles and Cowboys have the worst fan bases. But if you peel back the onion, you will find that in Philadelphia, what you're looking at is borderline, just violent, psychotic behavior on the part of fans. That's just an extension of the way that Philadelphia residents act on a daily basis. And the Cowboys, you don't so much have a fan base as you have a bunch of people who liked the Cowboys in the 90s and don't really give too much of a shit about football, and they'll just kind of say, yeah, fuck it, yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. And I can tell you that that's the case because I am an actual Cowboys fan, and I see a great deal of that among what people refer to as our fan base. Washington fans are a weird bunch. I guess it's people from Virginia or something. I don't know. You meet them randomly. You meet Redskins fans all over the fucking place, and I can't really find any real unifying factor among them. Like, I hate the fucking Redskins, but generally speaking, their fans are rather decent human beings. I would say among the NFC East, which is probably the big scumbag division in the NFL, I would say Redskins are the best human beings. The Giants, on the other hand, what you have with the Giants is a fan base that is made up primarily of Yankees fans. Yankees fans are notorious for being some of the biggest douchebags in sports. They also have this habit of just expecting success to happen because that is what they desire and believe to be so. And I guess, based on the success that the Yankees have had historically, I get that. I see where it comes from. The problem is they apply that attitude to football, and then they turn into the whiniest bunch of assholes on the planet when it doesn't work out. And then, after you're whining like a bunch of fucking jerk-offs, they disappear. They just go away. When the Giants were a disaster in the beginning of their season, their fan base just shut the fuck up. By the way, as is always the case with that team when the team sucks. Then, as the Giants traditionally have, they went on this momentary little hot streak, and their fan base, again, starts in with the usual bullshit. Daniel Jones, he's the greatest quarterback since Montana, or whatever these fucking idiots think, and et cetera, and et cetera. And it's like the entitlement comes back immediately. It just flips right back on. They act like spoiled children. It's the best way to put it. Screaming at their mother that they hate her, and then she gives them a present, and they fucking love her again. That's Giants fans. They act like, even though their team has a nearly similar record to every other shitty team in the division, that is how Giants fans behave. They barely beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys playing without huge chunks of their starting offense, including their quarterback and their left tackle, and just as in general, not a very good or efficient or competent team this year. The Giants barely beat the Cowboys and then had the audacity to bitch about it when a guy who rode the pine for 2 years got a chance to do his job in a game that meant jack shit to his team. So what I'm saying is, if you happen upon a salty Giants fan when you're watching the playoff games this weekend, and he starts going off on a rant about the Eagles fucking disrespecting the game or any of that other bullshit, please, just give him a quick little flick to the sack and tell him Gary Moyles sent you. I've been running my mouth for quite some time now, haven't I? You're probably sick of hearing it. But we do have to wrap up, of course, with the other events taking place in D.C., by which I mean the storming of the U.S. Capitol. First and foremost, the award for Best Dressed Rioter in the overrunning of the U.S. Capitol goes to the QAnon shaman Jake Angeli. Jake was, dressed as a Viking during the riot, or at least that's how people have described him. I'll be honest, I saw the fur, the horns, and the red, white, and blue face paint, and I assumed that he was a particularly fired-up Buffalo Bills fan. But apparently he dresses, his shtick is Viking, which still pretty awesome. I can get behind Viking as well as Bills Mafia. Seriously, just lay aside all of your thoughts about this in terms of politics or the soul of the nation or any of that bullshit and appreciate it for what it is. A man woke up on the morning of January 6th and said to himself, I am going to storm the United States Capitol today, and I am going to look fabulous doing it. His tattoos are atrocious, but the costume fucking ruled. And especially when you realize that he was shirtless in Washington, D.C. in early January for what I'm sure was probably fucking hours, right? You don't go to a rally for 5 minutes. Those people, they hang in there. Let me tell you something. I was stationed in Quantico, which is just south of D.C., in January of 2008, and it gets cold as fuck down there. You do not want to be walking around with a metal fucking rifle in your hands for hours at a time in fucking Quantico in the winter, let me tell you. So what I'm saying, you don't have to admire this guy's politics, but you do have to respect him for refusing to not be fierce and to not give up the bit. All right, fierce. He is fucking fierce. My second favorite moment involved a gentleman who slightly resembles T.J. Miller running out of the building with a shit-eating grin on his face and a lectern, which is apparently that's what you call a podium, in his hands. And again, I don't care how furious you are about this politically, you just have to appreciate that at that moment in time that the picture was taken is going to be immortalized in history books. That guy with the fucking his winter hat on and his coat and his scarf and all that shit, dressed up for a snowball fight, running through the halls of Congress with a lectern in his hand, will be appearing in the same history books as the picture of Jack Ruby shooting Lee Harvey Oswald, or the flag over Ground Zero. It will be a highlighted piece of American history. And if you can't laugh and appreciate that and set aside politics for that, then I fucking hate you. Okay? Because if my friends and I opened our 9th grade history books to see that scene taking place 20, 30 years earlier, the first thing out of our mouths would have been, this guy fucking rules. Like, we probably would have cut the picture out and hung it in our lockers. Fuck, they're gonna make you pay for the book at the end of the year? Fuck it, who cares? That picture's hilarious. You may as well own it forever. The picture, and I really hope you know what, if you don't know what picture I'm talking about, just go into Google and search Via Getty, and then go to images, and it will become abundantly clear, because a Politico reporter tweeted, Via Getty, one of the rioters steals a podium from the Capitol. That was the caption with the picture. And idiots on Twitter this is great. These people want you and me and everyone else to get in line with their own political views. They were on Twitter demanding the arrest of Via Getty. And the only problem is, this guy's name isn't Via Getty. Via Getty means the image was obtained via Getty Images, one of the biggest photo-sharing companies on the planet. Via Getty is a commonly used term in newspapers, magazines, etc., etc. But since every moron on the planet has a Twitter account now, and nobody actually reads anything, they assumed that his name was Via Getty and demanded an immediate arrest. And I'm so glad that people screen grab these tweets, because of course the morons that send them, once they realize the error of their ways, they go and delete them. But this one guy writes, I want Via Getty and everyone else who participated at this domestic terrorism at the Capitol today arrested. Which, by the way, that you should be arrested for awful syntax and grammar. Ugh. Another guy writes, boom! We got one of these MAGA chuds. What kind of name is Via Getty? Which is just fantastic. I do love the word chud, though. I use I do use the word chud pretty frequently. Facebook Live's on a weird angle. Sorry. Yeah, but my favorite part of this is that even after being exposed as complete fucking morons for thinking that Via Getty was a person's name, I went to the pages of these guys, their Twitter pages. These buffoons continued to tweet just machine gun style about politics. They remind me of, for a Jim and Sam listener, my dear friend Hot Dog, who doesn't just shut the fuck up on Twitter. Fucking Hot Dog. We love him. He is Sam's little man's. He's a little bi twink, but we love the Hot Dog. And I know that I understand that both sides of this thing are filled with absolute jackasses. And, you know, there's so much like, what aboutism, man? Yeah, both sides. Like, yeah, but they do. They are. It's just fucking idiots abound. But I feel like once you get exposed as the guy screaming into the void about the non-existent Via Getty, then you got to take yourself out of the game for a few minutes. Take a lap, recalibrate, read a book for the first time. Then, once you've cooled down a little bit, then you come back and you can continue accusing, you know, some fucking guy who moved away from your hometown in 5th grade. You can continue accusing him of being a Nazi on Facebook because he doesn't believe in universal health care or whatever the fuck it is you do. I saw people doing that. People I went to college were doing that. Everyone's insane. They're all fucking nuts. If you took a shit in the halls of Congress, which some people did, you're fucking nuts. You know, if you dressed as a buffalo or whatever, you're fucking nuts. And if you were brought to the point of writing a 10-paragraph fucking Facebook post, you're also fucking nuts. Everyone's fucking nuts. But the dumbest response to this whole thing was not Via Getty. Right? At least the Via Getty stuff can be chalked up to a politically passionate idiot who just wants to see his side win. The dumbest response to this whole fucking thing came from corporate America. Apparently, somebody dropped a can of Axe body spray during the ruckus, and a picture of it was going around Twitter with the caption, "Left by the mob, a lonely can of Axe body spray," and it was like just on the floor in Congress. So, Axe body spray responds, we'd rather be lonely than with that mob. Axe condemns yesterday's acts of violence and hate at the Capitol. We believe in the democratic process and the peaceful transition of power. Look, if you're a company that exists for the sole purpose of making the product that I'd spray on myself after the gym so the seats in my car didn't wind up smelling like ball sweat post-workout, then I don't need to know what you think about the democratic process or peaceful transfers of power or the electoral college or any of that shit. Just make the cheap perfume, and now that you've released the statement, do us all a favor and check and make sure you aren't doing business with the Chinese, because they have an issue with the democratic process as well, that you might want to look into. If Axe is available for sale in China, you may want to clear things up with the government over there. Just check on it. With the Wikipedia page. See what they think about Winnie the Pooh. Not to be outdone, Burger King entered the fray with this. Burger King condemns the acts of violence and hate at the Capitol. Though we may be Burger Kings, America is no monarchy. We believe in the democratic process. Well, I mean, if that isn't flame-broiled patriotism, I don't know what is. I believe that, is that a line from, I think they stole that from Jefferson's rough draft of the Declaration of Independence. But here's the thing. I think everyone needs to drop the fucking, oh, the soul of America, oh, the Nazis. Fuck. I'm sorry. My throat is fried. I need to I need to learn to speak from the diaphragm. But look, if you want to blame... Have I been saying "but look" a lot? Is that a crutch that I'm using? If it is, then I apologize. I'll smack my bare bottom with a studded paddle later to atone. But if you want to blame anyone, blame the fucking media. All right? They're laughing at you. They think you're an idiot. Either the media thinks that you can be manipulated into thinking whatever it is they and their conglomerate fucking mega company want you to think, or they think you're such a piece of shit that it won't be hard to turn half the country against you. And then after doing that, these jerk-offs have the audacity to get on the air like, oh, well, we spent 4 years telling people that the election in 2016 was stolen. Why would they possibly think that the election in 2020 was stolen? Only a fascist could convince anyone of such a thing. Just shut the fuck up. Seriously. Jesus. Look, it's... sharing fucking political opinions. If you feel compelled to tweet something political, put your phone in another room and ask yourself, would an equally passionate tweet from the other side really be enough to sway my thinking? Think that to yourself before you even open up the app. And then go masturbate, eat something, drink some chamomile, smoke some weed, fall asleep without sending your stupid fucking tweet, and wake up a better person. Because nobody is going to change their deeply held political beliefs because you got on a fucking soapbox on Twitter. Alright? You're so much better off. Just go out and be friends with people and don't worry who they voted for. Because that really used to be the glue that held this country together. Right? Vote, secret ballot, then you go, you meet up with the Johnsons at the bowling alley, you smoke cigarettes, you drink some highballs, you knock over a few pins, you go home, and you pump your half-hard pekka into your wife's hairy bush a few times, and then you fall asleep in separate beds. What the halcyon days, am I right? But I know everyone's dumping their opinions out there, and I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not a MAGA guy. I'm not a Biden guy. I didn't think Trump was the savior. I didn't think he's the worst. I don't think fucking Biden is all of a sudden the fix for what ails us. If you want my opinion I don't know why you would want my, someone's political opinion. I really think political opinions need to be formed through your own fucking values is what I think. I think you need to learn about it all. But if for some reason you fancy me a genius and you want my insight, what I would say is I don't condone violence unless it's a reaction to violence. So if you destroyed property or hurt someone during the storming of the Capitol, then you should be arrested and charged accordingly. But we should also remember that one of the checks that holds our system in place is that we are the people will hold our leaders accountable peacefully first, but with violence if necessary. So when you consider the fact that we have these two media echo chambers, both of which are run by corporate interests who are engaging in the same kind of very divisive game, then you can reasonably understand why a mass of Americans might believe that their public was being threatened and that the appropriate response was to occupy the Capitol, which, after all, it doesn't belong to the politicians inside, it belongs to the American people. And beyond that, showing up pissed off at a government building is sort of a long-held American tradition, right? And that goes back to before 1776. Ours is a history that is pockmarked by rebellion and insurrection and rallies and riots from the Whiskey Rebellion and Shays Rebellion, the Tea Party, Lexington and Concord, the Kansas, Missouri, Civil War draft riots, the Black Panthers were showing up and with guns in San Francisco and Oakland back in the 60s and 70s. That's actually is at the root of a lot of our contemporary gun control laws. The Stonewall riots, the Black Lives Matter over the summer. Americans are a very testy people when it comes to defending our freedom. And I think by and large, that's a good thing, right? Because for our system to work, bizarrely, one of the things that makes our system work is that the people have to be willing to burn the whole fucking thing to the ground. That threat has to exist to keep our leaders accountable. And it shouldn't be something that we engage in lightly, but it must always linger. And if you go back and read our founding documents, it's splattered all over them. I'm just this from the Declaration of Independence. We all know this. It's when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands or political bonds which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. And this was Thomas Jefferson telling the British that he was about to explain to the crown why they should go fuck themselves. And that spirit, I think, is essential for the survival of America. Because if the people legitimately believe that their republic has been hijacked, then the people are compelled to remove the government, and forcibly, if so. And here's the thing. I don't think that the election was stolen. So I don't think you should storm fucking Congress and break shit. I think the Democrats ran a really good grassroots game. They had more media help. I think they just beat Trump in a close race. What this really speaks to is our need to improve the way we communicate with and treat each other. We need to quit letting people like fucking Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson, and entertaining as Tucker is, and Anderson Cooper and Laura Ingraham and whoever the fuck else. We have to stop letting these people tear us apart for the sake of profit. That's all it is. Okay? That's all that is. They're putting on a fucking act. It's a performance. They're playing us. Stop letting them. And when you attack each other on social media, they're coming in their fucking trousers, knowing that that's going to be more. If you spend all day sniping at people on Twitter, you're going to want to tune into Tucker or Don Lemon or Chris Cuomo and have your belief system reinforced. That's just fucking, natural. And especially now with everyone locked in, 10 p.m. curfews and all that shit, it just gets even worse. And people are saying that they've been talking about the balkanization of the United States, which is basically, it's just a big national divorce where we become like 4 different countries or so. We don't need that. If anything, we need, you would say before doing that, you'd want to go to something like extreme federalism, which, we have elements of that, or we should have elements of that already. That's what prevents bad actors from hijacking the republic, right? When people bitch about the Electoral College or elections being run by counties and hand counts and the slow speed of government, and they're like, oh, why can't they get it done now? Why can't the president just do this, an executive order and all that? It's because we're incredibly impatient and incredibly entitled, all right? The fact that we have government down to the local level, and it's not just the federal government running everything, that's what prevents us from having a coup, right? This was not a coup or an insurrection or any of that shit. It was a riot on public ground. And we saw that happening all summer, and the same predictable response came from the same predictable places in the media. Half condemned it, have supported it. For a real coup to be successful, you would, in the United States at least, you would have to take over so many elements of the government at so many different levels that would essentially be impossible. That's why it wasn't a coup. Like, it's not like you don't, if you have if you have Congress, the fucking Capitol building, you haven't taken over the government. You've taken over a building. You might do some horrible shit while you're in there. You could execute AOC or fucking hang Mitch McConnell. You could do something crazy like that. Whatever the fuck they were planning, that said they were going to do. It's still not really a coup. It's a violent, awful riot is what it is. But again, for a coup to be successful, you would have to take over so many elements of the government at so many different levels that it's, in this country, essentially impossible. And people have viewed this over the years as sort of a design flaw because it makes government very cumbersome, right? If I get legislation written here, then it's got to go here, then it's got to get voted on, and it's got to go to the president, and it's in committee, and it's all of this shit and that shit, and why can't they just hurry up? But it is, in fact, one of our best safeguards against real tyranny that it takes forever to get shit done. So you got to look at it. You got to say, are you willing to say, yeah, I'll accept having it take 2 years to get a law passed instead of 2 weeks because the slow churn of government is the price we pay to preserve the republic. Personally, I like that. To me, that's a very important safeguard. I mean, if I really had my druthers, we'd have almost no government at all and pretty much total freedom, but I don't anticipate that happening inside of my lifetime, so I'll kind of settle for a government that moves at a snail's pace and doesn't fuck with my my day-to-day life very much. But that's it. Like, honestly, I have no need to proselytize you or call you a dickhead because of your view on abortion or healthcare or whatever. You know, just my peace in life involves making dick jokes, lifting weights, hanging out at the beach, watching football, eating steak, and tracking down a little punane when there's room in my otherwise busy schedule. And fill in that fucking game of Mad Libs with your own favorite food, sports, activities, and genitals, and we can all do the same, right? There's no need to cancel anyone or throw anyone into a gulag or truth and reconciliation committees or any of this other lunacy that is being discussed right now. So yeah, be good to each other. Don't be a fucking... Make fun of each other. Shit in each other's cornflakes. Knock pizza out of each other's hands. Slap each other in the balls. But do it all with love. Like Jeff Ross says, we roast because we love, or we roast from a place of love. That's the way you gotta do it. I've been running my stupid fucking mouth now for quite some time. If you stuck with me for the whole time, I'm amazed. I don't know why you would. I'm thrilled that you did, good boys and girls. But thank you. Before I go, I do want to say, let me know what you think of the lighting setup in here. I have worked very hard while I was off to kind of get like a nice lighting thing going. I think I'm getting close, or if I'm not there yet, closer to having a pretty cool lighting setup. I might brighten it up in the back just a little bit, maybe go with a warmer color, because I got blue going back there. It looks a little dark, but we'll see. I'm gonna play with it. The plan right now is to get myself... I want to get a decent video camera so I can improve the quality of the YouTube show. I'll start chopping up the show and putting out like individual segments so you can share them with your friends, and you could be like, hey, we got this lazy-eyed loser from this radio show I listened to, does this very cheaply produced podcast in his studio apartment. You should waste some of your time watching it because I want you to hate me. No, but please, it's awesome. It was so cool over the past couple weeks getting messages from people who are new to listening to the show and finding out that we were included in my brother's Festivus celebration. It all warms my heart on this cold January night. It is wild card weekend, so I do have to go and watch the late game is on now, and that's usually the best one. So I'm gonna go sit down. I'm gonna do that. Social media, share. Like I said, you gotta share it with your friends. Facebook.com/The Savage Crew is where the live stream goes down. Like I said, I've been streaming on YouTube as well, which is also it's the Savage Crew on YouTube. I don't have like a fancy YouTube URL because I don't think my page is big enough for that yet or some shit. I'm still kind of learning YouTube. Twitter @Mike Montone. Twitter is the two places you're most likely to get a response out of me are Twitter and Instagram. Instagram @Gary_Moyler, MOYLER. But yeah, look, if you like what you're seeing, you like what you're listening to, show this to 3 friends. Tag 3 friends, send it to 3 friends, and if they tell 3 friends, and if they tell 3 friends, and if they tell 3 friends, we can all rent a hotel room together and jack off on an Asian woman, because based on some videos I've seen, they like it. Yeah. Oh, boy. I am never going to get on Saturday Night Live, am I? All right, guys. Yeah, and the podcast URL, thesavagecrew.libsyn, LIBSYN.com, Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker, Pocket Cast, fucking everywhere. Catch us next time. Bye-bye.